Hey guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now. Huge shout out to Michael for filling in for me on Friday. I was traveling and didn't even have my equipment with me, so I couldn't make the video, but he did an incredible job, and honestly, I'm kind of watching my back now. I feel like he might take it from me. Since I didn't get a chance to talk about it on Friday, let's talk about it now. I saw Civil War on Thursday night and I loved it, as those of you who follow me on Twitter probably know, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about it. So let me know in the comment section down below, did you love it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Where were you on that spectrum? On to the news, of course, we're going to start off with Civil War and talk about the official box office numbers coming in. Then we'll move on to some fantastic news about the X-Men franchise moving forward after Apocalypse. And finally, we'll round out the day with a couple of surprising confirmations for Wolverine 3. But first up, let's talk about Civil War's massive opening weekend. And when I say massive, I mean massive. The film finished as expected with one of the top 5 domestic openings of all time in a haul of $181 million. That vaults it right into the number 5 slot in those rankings, narrowly edging out Iron Man 3's $174 million. And of course, for those of you that have seen the movie or even really any trailer, that's kind of fitting. Though it did fall 10 million short of Age of Ultron and 20 million short of the first Avengers movie, it now stands as Marvel's biggest solo movie of all time. But let's be fair, it kind of cheated. The big opening domestically adds on to a big second weekend internationally, and so the film's 2-week total stands now at $675 million, and it looks well on its way to being the 4th Marvel film to bank $1 billion. But you never know, and so we'll keep an eye on those numbers for you going into its second domestic weekend. And last, but of course not least, big shout out to user Spidey Skaterboy. You were the closest in terms of projections actually, so we've messaged you on YouTube. Reply to us and we'll get a pop figure headed your way very shortly. Congrats! And man, guys, our projections were really maybe a little bit too high. I think I said in the video it would cross Age of Ultron. Man, you guys were all above 200 million solidly. I do like the optimism. On to our next story. We now know when the next X-Men movie will be set. Though X-Men Apocalypse still doesn't hit theaters for another 18 days, we've just received some big news for the franchise going forward. At Apocalypse's press day today, executive producer Simon Kinberg confirmed to the assembled members of the media that the next film is going to take place in the 90s. This, of course, continues a trend that was started with First Class taking place in the 60s, and then Days of Future Past took place in the 70s, and now Apocalypse takes place in the 80s, and so the next one is going to be in the 90s, and so on and so forth. Really, the biggest question here is how McAvoy and Fassbender are aging so well. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this latest piece of news, and who do you think the villain for the next movie should be? Personally, I'm really pulling for Mr. Sinister. I'm kind of shocked they haven't done him yet, but just get him in the movie. Speaking of X-Men Apocalypse though, the embargo lifts tonight, so brace yourselves for all the incoming reviews. And barring some massive breaking casting, those reviews are going to leave the H&N tomorrow, so check back in then and I'll break it all down for you. And our last story of the day, let's hang around in the Fox Marvel universe and talk about their next big upcoming film, Wolverine 3. While I honestly can't wait for the movie, which is bringing back director James Mangold, and it's going to be Hugh Jackman's, of course, last performance as the character, we haven't gotten many official details, if any, about the film yet. A few castings, a shadowy government agent as the villain, the script wasn't finished in February, and that's honestly about it. Kinberg is the star of this news story as well, as he sat down with Collider Frosty and revealed a kind of surprising bit of information. The movie has already begun filming. He also confirms the long-standing rumor that the film is going to take place in the future and kind of compares the tone of the movie to a Western, but playfully avoided confirming that Patrick Stewart would also co-star alongside Hugh Jackman. And there is a lot more in the article, so be sure to check that out, but wow, okay, so they're back in the future. This is honestly maybe the biggest thing that the X-Men franchise has had to deal with, like how the timeline is set up. You know, are they back in the original timeline? Are they back in the new redacted Days of Future Past future? If that's the case, how did things get so messed up again? More questions than answers so far is, I guess, the best way to describe it. Clearly, I don't know, so let me know your best guesses about Wolverine 3 in the comments section right down there. But that wraps it up for today's H&N. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you liked what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider supporting us on Patreon for access to goodies like exclusive shows and access to our original content a day early. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.